Today we're going to do a variation on a Katsu Tofu Burger. This is one of our absolute favorites to have on a Friday evening, Saturday evening. Now we're making this for lunch here today, but you're going to absolutely love this. It is creamy, it's crunchy, it's flavors that you wouldn't normally get together in a burger. And it comes together pretty fast. It's pretty easy to put together, to be honest. So I've got a lot of my stuff set out here right now, and we will jump into it. What I will let you know that I did do a little bit earlier was I made some pickled onions. So the recipe for this was really quite simple. Not a lot goes into it. It's just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, just enough to kind of cover the red onions. You want to slice them relatively thin so they can soak it in, especially if you don't have a lot of time. A little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar. You can put other spices in there, but that's a pretty simple way just to pickle them. And the longer they sit, typically the better they're going to turn out. You can see the liquid in here has already turned a little bit red, meaning that it's had some time to not only get into the onions, but kind of, the colors have started to come out into the liquid. So those are ready for us. We don't need to worry about it, but if you're just starting this video and following along, then I would suggest that you actually do these first and get them ready so they have a longer time to sit. And you could throw other things in here too, not just red onions. You could put radishes in here or whatever you'd like, but these are going to really help add to the dish. You do not want to skip these. So what are we doing here? Well, I got a block of tofu. I'm not going to use this whole block of tofu today, but we will cut this into steaks and pat it dry to begin with. So let's just go and drain this in the sink here, and we'll grab some paper towel and we will get this just kind of patted dry so it's not super wet. I've got everything that I really need for this already ready, and we're going to throw it into the air fryer today. Now you could do different things with this tofu. You could shallow fry it. I mean, you could deep fry it too if you wanted, and maybe a little bit of vegetable oil. That is definitely the best way to do it. If you're trying to kind of watch your oil intake or go oil free or just watch your calories or whatnot, you certainly don't have to shallow fry it, hence why we're going to use the air fryer today. So what I like to do with this is cut it into kind of burger bun sized pieces. And really the thinner that you make this nice little square that we've got here now, the better it's going to be for crunchy, whatever that means. The better it's going to be, not only for flavor, but for crunch as well. So we're not going to do them super thick. For your average block of tofu, I'm probably going to cut this into about 4, I would say, slices. And I'm only making 2 burgers today, so we'll set these aside. We'll use them in something else, whether it's a salad or whatever that might be. So let's get this out of the way for now. And what we'll do is we'll get all of this ready. So if I was doing a full batch here, this is about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in here. We're gonna make a little bit of a slurry with our cornstarch. We've got probably about 4 tablespoons of flour, which we're gonna use to dredge the tofu in before we put it into our slurry. And then we've got some panko breadcrumbs. So this is all gonna come together really quite quickly. Let's get a little bit of water in here. And you don't need a ton. You want enough in there so it's going to be able to make a little bit of a slurry. So let's kind of mix this up. You could use a fork too sometimes. Sometimes a fork is a little bit better for doing this, but give it a nice little mix. There we go. So I'm gonna grab another plate, and this will just help us, I guess, put this on here. And here's your assembly line. It's really quite easy. So we're gonna dredge our tofu in the flour. That'll help get some of the moisture off. Okay, and then maybe we'll move this like this. Give it one more stir. And go like this. And so we're going to now soak it in our cornstarch slurry and get it on here. And one of the tricks that a lot of people will show you and tell you is to keep one hand dry. So try not to get it in the slurry or get it wet or anything like that, because then you'll just have a real big kind of crunchy, sticky mess all stick into your fingers. Sometimes, if I'm feeling really ambitious, I will even double coat these so they're like crazy crispy. But that's absolutely perfect. So let's do another piece here. And we will get that coated in our flour as well, like that. We'll get it into our slurry like that. And we'll get it coated in our panko. Now, you notice I didn't season these yet. You could season these, right after. You are going to want to give them a little bit of salt so you can, get some of that flavor. So I usually will put on some salt as I'm putting them into the air fryer and whatnot, but I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick. So we're not going completely oil-free on these today, but what we will do is I'll show you how to use very little oil and also help them get really nicely crisped up right away. So let's wash our hands. We'll get rid of all this and we'll get these cooking in the air fryer, and I'll show you how the rest of the burger comes together real fast. Okay, pretty easy. Just a quick line of oil on there. We'll get our tofu steaks spread out, make sure we've got good airflow. The air can circulate, and I promised we would put a little bit of salt on top. What we'll do is we'll give this just a tiny coating. Oh, my oil's getting a little low here. We'll give it a tiny coating of oil so everything sticks. Give it a little bit of a extra crisp. Sprinkle a touch of salt on top, and that's it, guys. And we'll go ahead and get this in. We'll get this set, and we'll start it for probably about, doesn't take too long. We'll put it on for maybe, let's do 8 minutes at 400. And we'll check on them when that's all done. So while everything's cooking in the air fryer, let's get the rest of the burger kind of ready so it can come together nice and quickly when the time comes. So I've got one lonely spring onion here. I don't need a bunch for this dish. I'm only making 2 burgers, kind of getting it ready. But what we'll do is we'll get this kind of just prepped, and you can, do nice sized chunks so you can taste it. You don't need to have these super small. Presentation is important if you're having people over, obviously. But, you don't have to worry about getting them super perfect and super fine. I've got a little bit of a bunch of coriander or cilantro here as well. So I'm just going to give this a really loose kind of chop, just so it's ready and easy to kind of sprinkle on everything. And holy smokes, is that ever, coming together nice and fast. Now, you could also, you typically would probably want lettuce on this, like a nice baby gem type lettuce, or an iceberg lettuce, maybe for a little bit of a crunch. I've got tons of spinach right now, so I'm going to use a little bit of spinach. It's going to give it a little bit of that crunch that we're looking for, and help make it look really pretty as well, just because of the nice deep green of it. Okay, so the only other thing that we really need, we've got to get our buns toasted. So we'll go ahead and we'll get those in the toaster oven in a moment. But what we need to do is make a curried mayonnaise for this. So this is going to bring this all together. Maybe I'll put my onions there too, so I don't forget that. But we got our dish, and making a curried mayonnaise is really pretty easy. Okay, so we'll get this mayonnaise going here, and we're only doing 2, so there's probably about 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise there. This, well, maybe we'll do 4. So you want, you want enough on there for flavor, right? Like, this is really going to bring it all together, that nice curry flavor added to the pickled onions and just everything else with this dish. It's just going to really make it sing. Anytime you're making any sort of aioli, it's really quite easy, to be honest. So I've got some curry powder here, and we got about 4 tablespoons again of the mayonnaise. So I'll just sprinkle this in here. We want to make sure we can taste the curry. So that's about a teaspoon or so of curry powder. And the rest is pretty simple. You want to have some salt in there. I'm going to add probably about a half teaspoon of salt. You can always adjust it later. Remember, we do have salt on top of our tofu patties as well. And the last thing is just some lemon. So this is always going to kind of help bring it together. You don't need a ton. Let's make sure we get these seeds out of here so they don't end up in our mayonnaise, and then we end up eating them later. And we'll just give it maybe, I don't know, maybe half a teaspoon, something like that. That'll kind of help bring it all together. And we'll go ahead and give it a mix. This is just going to be a really beautiful golden color. It's going to add so much to this burger. Okay, so that is good to go. We'll give it a little taste here. Perfect. Okay, so everything's ready. What we're going to do now is we're going to get our buns in the toaster oven. I'm not going to show you that. You know how to do that on your own. And we'll go ahead and we'll build this, and we'll see how it tastes. Okay, we just finished up. Let's take a look. Oh, perfect. Look at how golden brown those are. They're going to be perfectly crispy and ready for our dish. I am so excited about this. It's time. Okay, so we got our bun nicely toasted. You can see it just came out absolutely perfect. And this is how we're gonna build this, and then we're gonna eat it. So a little bit of that curried mayonnaise. We're gonna put it on both sides of the bun. So let's give that a nice generous spread there. Just like that. We'll get it on both sides because it's gonna add a ton of flavor. Okay. And then we'll just maybe put this aside for now. Okay, we're going to put some of our pickled onions. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's gonna be so good. A little bit of our cilantro, some of our green onions on there. Put some of our spinach on the bottom, like that. Let's get one of these. There we go. Holy smokes, does that ever look good, right? Okay. Let's go like this. Maybe we'll put it like that. Let's cut into it. Let's see what we got. Wow. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be good. Does that ever look perfect? Wow. I don't know how you can see that. But this is the only thing that counts. Let's give it a try. So, right off the bat, you get the crunchiness of the panko breaded tofu. Almost right away, you get the creaminess and the curry coming out of the mayonnaise, and then the pickled onions, the pickled red onions, just kind of give you a little bit of a gut punch, and it brings it together so well. The coriander and the green onion, it's a little more subtle, but it really wraps it all together. And I promise you, if you try this, this is going to be one of your favorite go-to burgers. Forget things like, the fake meats and all that sort of stuff. This is way healthier. You know what's in it, and it tastes unbelievable. You're going to impress guests with this. It's going to be your #1 requested meal, I promise you. So I would love to know what you think about it in the comments. I hope you try it. I know you're going to enjoy it. Let me know, and make sure you check out the video coming up next as well. It's another one of our family favorites that you're not going to want to miss, and I think it's going to surprise you a little bit too. So anyways, I'll see you over in the next video, but right now I'm going to finish eating this. Cheers.